Say it with me, for we walk by faith, not by sight. I'm going to do a Hoovie entrance. Hey guys, not the dumbest automotive channel on YouTube though. This is John, Cheap Old Cars and Culture. So I'm prepping to go to a car show. Today's Friday. I think this video is going to come out like a week after I film it roughly, so whatever. Prepping to go to a car show. I'm wanting to take these two here. They're already mostly clean, mostly. So I had them ready to go to a car show at the end of October. They were both super good, super clean under the hoods and everything. But that show got rained out, and then they've sat outside some since, so they're a little dusty, but they're really not that bad. I could honestly probably do quick detailer and a drying towel and get them good and clean. We're going to do something maybe a little different this time. I'm kind of wanting to put this guy in too. So this car, if you haven't seen it on the channel before, I kind of gave up on finding a blue Bullet for a while because they just weren't out there at all. You couldn't find them. And so I got a green Bullet. I've done a few things to it, really not much, mostly maintenance. Obviously you can see the Cobra bumper and the Mach 1 hood. Did that more recently. But I've kept that car for a reason, okay? So yeah, everything's ridiculous expensive. Gen Z can't afford houses. I mean, heck, even when I was in my last job, making just a little ways, just a little bit into six figures, I wouldn't have been able to afford the house that I bought here when I was making in the 60s, right? So like, things are just crazy, stupid expensive. Interest rates through the roof. You can't do anything. Interest rates are coming down though. That's a good thing. Anyway, I've kept this car, this green Bullet, because, well, one, I had it. Two, the insurance on it is almost nothing. It's collector car insurance. It really should be in the garage, but it's in here some and out of here some, and we have to move them around and shuffle, whatever. So the insurance doesn't really cost much of anything. So just keeping the battery charged up, and it's got newer tires on it. And I've done a whole bunch of maintenance to the front end and stuff. So it's in good shape. It does need an idler pulley, and then I need to, you guys can probably hear that, the mounts for the shaker. I've found them online multiple times. You can still get the OE parts, but I keep forgetting to order them. I pull it up and then I get distracted and I haven't ordered them. Whatever, I'll get those. And then I think the throwout bearing squeaking too, which is really unfortunate because I had a new clutch put in it with a throwout bearing and pivot ball stud, new fork, did a new clutch cable, what else did I do? Rear main seal, all the things, right? Basically, all the while you're in there, we went ahead and did. So, but now the throwout bearing squeaking again. I think I can adjust the clutch just a little bit and get it to stop. Kind of frustrating though. Anywho, I found a guy had sold a green Bullet that had this hood and bumper on it, but the guy who bought that Bullet didn't want those parts, so he put it back to stock for that guy. Now he's got Mach 1 hood and 9901 Cobra bumper for sale, already painted the color car. I snagged them up. One thing that's really cool, and I want to show you guys, we have the factory intake tube, like the factory Mach 1 box here that has the hole cut in it and the intake tube. So it's all here, but it's on a 2-valve Bullet intake manifold, right? And so the guy made brackets because this was on a Bullet that he had. So he made brackets that mount to the alternator at the back. I can't remember what it mounts to now. But anyway, it mounts to the factory Bullet setup and everything. He held the heights right and everything to get the shaker up through the hood. So when I bought the hood and bumper, he just sold, all that came with it. I came home, just bolted on my car. So awesome, so easy. So, okay, the reason I've kept this car, that is kind of an interesting thing. This is back to everything being really expensive, okay? I want my kid to have something cool. I got a son, he's 10 years old. I want him to have something fun and something awesome, something that he can make his own, right? And like I said, this is kind of all tying that together. These cars don't cost much to just keep. I could just not drive it and not have insurance on it, and that'd be fine. It'd be kind of dumb because it is outside most of the time. But it really doesn't cost me that much to just have it. I do need to maintain it and keep up with it and change the tires and if they age out and stuff. But I'm not going to give that car to my son. I'm going to sell it to him. Now he can work it off, no interest, to me if we want. I'll sell it to him for a very affordable price, right? If he wants it. He does want it. He thinks of it as his car, but he will have to buy it off me. It's not a just here you go type thing, because when you're given things, you don't appreciate them. But that way he can have a cool car. Part of the reason I got that Mach 1 hood, and it was already green, I could put it on that car, whatever. It's kind of a backup for this car in case we drive this one more, right? So if something happens to the front of this one, they don't make Mach 1 hoods anymore. There is that company making the carbon fiber ones. I might just snag one of those too at some point, honestly, just to have it. before they eventually go out of production and you can't find them anymore. But that right there is a backup hood in case something happens to this car that we drive a lot more. So let me take back what I said a little bit. The bumper, if he likes it, will probably stay with the car. The hood kind of is mine though. You got an extra Cobra bumper right up there. But if he likes the factory GT style bumper, it's out in the back building. Actually, no, I take that back. It's right there. It is right up here. It's not touching the wall. Nothing else is touching it. It's just sitting on its bottom part. I love this giant shelf that's in my garage back here. It's really awesome. And there's all the factory airbox stuff for it there. And so the car can be put back to complete stock. Even got the factory bullet grill in it that doesn't have the black surround. I've got another one of those up over there. And I've got a Mach 1 grill delete up there too. So if he wants to run that bumper and a Mach 1 grill delete, bam, it's right there. I don't right now have an extra Mach 1 chin spoiler though. What did I do with my extra? Oh yeah, I put the extra Mach 1 chin spoiler I had on that Cobra bumper. So all that to say, we're planning on putting these two blue cars in the car show tomorrow. And I'm trying to get my son more excited about car stuff. He is getting more into it. He's into mechanical things and all this stuff. And I didn't really get into cars until I saw Smokey and the Bandit when I was 4, but I wanted the truck, right? I was like, that's awesome. Give me a W9 with a big old mural on the trailer. That was amazing. But, you know, when I got a little older, I wanted the Trans Am. And I had the Trans Am. I bought a 1977 Trans Am in 2002. I bought a 78 Trans Am as well. And then fixed that up, and I drove it my senior year of high school and a few years after. And that was an awesome car. I had it for actually 12 years. I eventually sold it because kid was coming along, still trying to go to college. I wasn't going to be able to work on it for another 10-ish years. And I was like, I don't want to let it sit in the garage for another 10 years or wherever. And, you know, just not be able to do anything with it because I was broke at the time. I don't remember what I was talking about. We just had a delivery. So anyway, yeah, the whole thing is I'm trying to get the kid interested in cars and stuff. And, you know, there's not much around here in the way of racing events. There's some autocross stuff. Now I'm going to look into that. I kind of want to put this guy in some autocross events. You know, we just kind of do the car show thing, and not like the all-day car shows, but like 9 to 1. You show up around 8 or whatever. And so it's, you know, a few hours and you hang out and meet some people and talk to some people because there's cool people out there. I know a lot of young people, especially these days, aren't into the car show thing because it's just like, oh, you're cool. You're sitting there and you got your boomer boards and stuff. I'm going to have, and you're going to see in this video, I'm going to put a sticker on each car we take that says what it is. So this one will be 01 Bullet True Blue, one of 722 made. People get all weird about that. They do the whole Corvette thing because I know there are people that go too far with what they call the boomer boards and on the Corvette of like, you know, this is the only yellow one made on this Tuesday, March 5th, whatever, you know, all that stuff. People go a little too far with it. Who cares? They're proud of their stuff. Let them go for it. And you got to think too, it's kind of how we buy cars impacts that, because back in the 60s, 50s, 60s, and even into the 70s, there were tons of options, you know, and a lot of times these dealers didn't have huge lots with tons of cars on them. They had a few cars, and you kind of go down there and you order what you want, right? And so people would come in and order something and, oh, I want this option, that option. And so the options were cool. Like that was what was fun, because your car might be a little bit different because one, there was a lot of different options to pick. And two, that was how most people got their cars, was order stuff back then. Now you got these dealerships with these giant lots. It's like Walmart of cars, these just huge places. And no one orders stuff anymore. People just go buy whatever's on the lot. They don't care about options. It's Mustang, right? Or you know, go down there and Ford truck. Who cares what engine it has? At least that's what I see a lot online, because people would be like, oh, it's not a rare Mustang. It's just a Mustang. There were millions of those. And I look at it and go, yeah, there were millions of this body. That's why it was cheap. But there weren't millions made with these options. And that to me makes it, but I like rare versions of basic cars. It's kind of my thing, my niche. That's where I fall. Silverado SS, 454 SS, Bullet, Mach 1, other Bullet. That's kind of what I like, you know? Trailblazer SS, love Trailblazer SS. I actually had one of those for a while, about a year. This car here, this Mach 1 over here, it's one of 282 made. Now, if I break it down by interior upgrade package and by the Mach 460 sound system, it might be less than that. Now, it does have both of those options, and most Mach 1s did, so it would be in the higher of that 282, but, you know, maybe it's one of 200, right? And because it has an auto. Now, people are going to hate that. They're going to say, auto's not worth it, auto sucks, all this stuff. This car's fine. It's fun to drive. Is it as fun in the corners as this one? No, no, it's not. Who cares? We got this for me and my wife. I had a Dark Shadow Gray 5-speed Mach 1, and it was modded a fair amount, and it was pretty quick, upper 12-second car. This one it has Flowmasters and Maximum Motorsports rear lower control arms, and I put bullet springs on the front of it, and then took out the front isolators as well, so that got me 5/8 of an inch drop in the front. Outside of that, this car stock. So lower control arms, different shocks and struts. They're cheap shocks and struts though. Different springs in the front. However, the springs don't really change anything in the front outside of lowering the ride height, because the bullet springs are 600-pound front and 250-pound rear. The Mach 1 springs are 600-pound front and 250-pound rear. The reason that the Bullet and Mach 1 were, if you look at drive reviews, the reason that they're like the Mach 1 transfers weight better, the Bullet was more neutral and handle. Center of gravity 1, iron block 2-valve heads. The front end, the weight of the front end is lower. Aluminum block 4-valve heads, and so more of the engine's weight is up higher, and you can feel it in corners. I've got other videos about this too. You go in corners in a Mach 1, and I can feel it. You know, you go, let's say, to a right-hand corner, and you can feel it kind of wanting to lean over to the other side. This one doesn't do it as bad. Different sway bar packages, same spring rate. So obviously this one is on H&R Super Sports now, but I have a stock Bullet there to compare to as well. That's some other videos I'm going to make soon too. So I'm going to take out the Mach 1 and the stock Bullet and do a corner comparison of those, and then I'm going to take out both Bullets, the modded Bullet and the stock Bullet, and do a comparison of those, how they feel. And then I'm also going to take out, this is a wild one. This is a wild one, guys. I'm going to take this car, a stock Bullet, right? Which is, if you look at all the drive reviews, and if you look at my reviews, and if you trust in what I say at all, I think this is the best feeling in terms of handling, the best feeling Mustang of 79 to 04, of that generation. I'm going to take that car, that green stock Bullet, out, and I'm going to compare it to a modded V6 Mustang, a very lightly modded V6 Mustang. Now, I don't know if you've seen the other videos on my channel or whatever, but I did a whole breakdown of the weight of a GT Bullet versus the weight of a V6, and the difference in weight distribution, because the V6 has less weight on the nose, so it is a little bit more rear biased than one of the V8 cars, and obviously it's less weight. One of these V6 Mustangs, I think it actually weighs less than a C5 Z06, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm going to take that one out, because that video I did, I came up with a spring plan, right? So what springs make a V6 handle similarly to a stock Bullet. And then what I did in that one, and there's actually another video coming out really soon after making this one, I put 99 Cobra springs on the front of it, and I had to cut a half coil out of them to get them to the ride height I want. I don't really condone cutting coils. It does make a spring stiffer because you're taking away the free springs, which aren't touching things, the free coils. And when you do that, you do make the spring stiffer. But I planned for that in doing this. I put Mach 1 springs on the back of it, so that's a 250-pound spring. And so the rear of the car is actually slightly stiffer than a Mach 1 or Bullet. I'm going to get back to why the weight transfer thing happened in a second, but I just got off on this tangent. Anyway, the front springs on the Bullet and Mach 1 are 600 pounds, and I put those Cobra springs on the front of that V6, but they're 500-pound springs, right? That means the front end's softer. Now, the front end, I had to cut them a little bit. If I didn't measure the coils and do the new math on what the spring rate would be after cutting them, but it should make the ratios, the ratios of weight per spring and all the stuff extremely similar to a Bullet. So my V6 Mustang should now ride similarly and have similar corner feel to a Bullet, but it might actually have a little bit better turn-in feel because the front end's lighter. It also has different, I need to go and compare proportionate sway bar rates to the corner weights of the car. I need to work on that. That V6 car I have as well. Also, it has a stock front sway bar, but it has a 96 Cobra rear sway bar. It's going to be cool. I think it's going to be a fun video. I've taken it out and driven it. It actually rides really nice, and I think it's going to compare favorably, maybe not better, but compare well. Let's say compare well against the stock Bullet, which will just be a really cool thing because it's cheap. Cheap old cars, right? Honestly, I think one of these cars with a V6 and a manual and gut it, and you're going to gut it, but most of the weight you're going to gut is back here, right? And so that makes the car more forward weight bias, which you don't want to do. So gut it, but move your battery to the back and do some other things to keep the weight on the front end down, you definitely want it more corner balanced. But I think you could make a pretty fun, not maybe fast, but fun autocross car out of one of these V6s. You know, these have chassis flex and stuff. Let's not get into all that. Let's not get into all that. Let's go back to why. Let's go back to why they said this one had better weight transfer. I talked about the engine being, the weight being higher up and you feel more body roll. These had softer shocks, right? And so the front was able to separate more, the rear squatted some, and yeah, they just feel different even though they have the same spring rates as a stock Bullitt, because of the shocks. I have a set of factory Bullitt shocks up there, shocks and struts. They're actually pretty stiff. They're stiffer with 100,000 miles on them. They are stiffer than the Koni orange shocks that a lot of people replace them with. I want to compare those as well, and it would be a lot of work swapping out struts. You know, rear shocks are easy to swap, but the front struts are a little more difficult. But it would actually be pretty fun to compare the stock Bullitt shocks and struts versus whichever ones I get for this. So that's either going to be the Koni Yellow or the Bilstein B6, which is the 4600 series. I'll probably get the Bilstein B6s. But that would be a pretty fun comparison. So that I might do that in the future too. Back to the car show thing. So I need to get these two cleaned up. And like I said, I can I'm probably not going to put this on camera, but quick detail and dust them off. They're fine. Let's check the interiors. A little bit of grass on the floor mat because I had them parked in the backyard for a few days while I was doing work on the red V6 in here. And so I tracked in a little bit of grass, but I can clean that off. Dash and everything's good because I had it all vacuumed out. Let's do this. Actually, if I come around to that side, you guys can see in the car too. Ooh, fancy. You guys can see in. So I've got some paper around. I like my Corbeau seats. They're awesome. I'm a Corbeau brand ambassador. There's a link in my bio to go to Corbeau's website. It's not a discount or anything, but if you guys want to buy some Corbeau seats, I'd appreciate it if you click that link because I get very minuscule little kickback on anyone that buys seats through my thing, which helps the channel out, right? So I got my Momo steering wheel, which I absolutely love. Need to clean it a little bit. It's got some, but that's how microfiber goes. I'm probably going to replace this with a black leather one because it's just the 6 bolts. I can swap it easy. So I'll probably replace this and keep this one in a bag because I love it. I love how it feels and stuff, but really I should be wearing gloves with it. But I don't want to be the guy that is wearing like racing gloves out driving back roads in my 265 horsepower car. That seems a little silly. I need to hit this with a vacuum. I've got my shop vac right over there. So hit both of these cars with a vacuum. And then the main thing will be, the main thing I'll need to do is clean this one up because it is pretty dirty in the engine bay, as you can see. Pretty dirty. And then it hasn't been washed in a while. It's kind of just been outside. So we've got lots of dirt down here. And yeah, it needs to get cleaned up and get a coat of wax. So that will be something I do today. However, I'm gonna wait till that guy gets over behind these trees. Now I have some shade. So I will do that later this evening. So right now I can get these two cleaned up, get them ready to go. They're really not gonna take much. Like you can see, it's just a little bit of dust on stuff. I really love how this can do that little bit of purple almost at times. Yep, so that's the plan. These are both mostly clean and ready to go. Man, that is a good looking car, isn't it? Isn't that just a good looking car? My goodness. Anyway, yeah, these are both almost ready. And so what this video is going to have is, I'm going to leave a lot of this talking in at the first of it, whatever, because I like sharing my ideas and stuff. I'm going to clean these cars up, not on camera. I mean, I could time lapse that, whatever, and show, but I'm just going to be wiping them off. That one's going to take some more work. I might not go too far on the green one though. So my kid's sick. If I haven't mentioned that earlier in the video, he's really not feeling good. And us going to this car show tomorrow fully depends on him feeling good or not. I don't really like going by myself because it's a dark blue Mustang. It is cool. I like it, but most people don't know what it is. A lot of people don't know about the Bullitt package. People who do know about the Bullitt package just call it a GT with an intake manifold. They don't know all the different things. It looks like 60 different parts on these cars than a GT. So it's quite a bit different. The thing is, if people go drag race them, this isn't really that much faster. And that's what most people care about is like straight line stuff. And so they missed out on how amazing Bullitts feel in corners versus a GT. All this, there's a caveat at the price point, right? At the price point, I think they're really good. I don't really like taking this one by myself because most people just walk right by it. They don't really notice it. And I get it, it's just kind of a dark blue car. But when we have both of these together, then it's, well, one, the azure blue, it pops and people are like, what is that? That's really cool. Then I get all the time, does it have a 5.0 in it? As soon as I tell people it's a 4.6, they go, oh, it's a V6? Anyway, but yeah, this car pops and gets attention. But then when they're both together too, then it's like, oh, hey, that's a husband and wife out with their cool cars. And that'd be really, really cool to take the green one too. Even if I left the hood down, you know, not clean the engine bay. Even if I left the hood down, that'd just be really cool to have my son have his car there too. I would register it in his name, and I'd pay for his registration fee, whatever. That's not a big deal, like $25 a car or something, so whatever. But I just think that'd be really cool. Like, I'd put his age on there and stuff, and he might get a little recognition from that. And I get like the car show trophies are like a silly thing, but I really want to get him into cars stuff more. Now he can take his own path. If he ends up not being into cars, he ends up not being into cars. I'm not going to be upset about that. But like, it'd be cool if we could do the car things together as he gets older, do drag and drive events and hot rod power tour and stuff like that. You know, that was stuff I always wanted to do when I had a son. I actually have 2 Mach 1 grill delete grill deletes up there. Not the chin spoiler, but the grill delete pieces. I didn't realize I had 2. Anyway, I'm sorry. You know, if he's not feeling good, I'm gonna get him cleaned up. I'm gonna get him ready. But if we wake up in the morning and he's still feeling pretty rough, let's hang out at the house with him. It'd be cool. You know, tomorrow's Saturday, so I'll still put this video out when it's ready to come out. It's, you know, about a week from now when this one would come out, and just talk about this stuff. But you know, him hanging out with Daddy on a day he's feeling bad and playing some video games with me or something, that's a lot more important than going to a car show. So, well guys, I guess we'll finish this video off. I did not go to the car show. I brought this one in. It really needs a coat of wax. I need to actually polish it some first, clay bar and polish, because it's got water spots real bad. I don't know what it is about this car, but I just get water spots like crazy on this one. I don't really have that issue with the others. I know I have hard water here, but you know, I wash them and keep them wet and dry them off. Try not to let that happen. For whatever reason, on this green car, water spots like crazy. Anywho, kid was still sick, even worse on Saturday morning, so we ended up not going to the car show. But hey, if you made it to this part in this video, let me know what you'd like to see. Do you like the Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday? My views have kind of dropped off a little bit, but it seems like that's YouTube wide. I think the algorithm is pushing people more to shorts now. If you'd like to see maybe just a Wednesday and Saturday video, I'll do that. That might be better. You know, if I get more views that way, that's what I need to do. But if it's just Wednesday and Saturday, I can spend more time editing, making it more polished and smoother, and, you know, make hopefully a more entertaining video. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think. Yeah, we'll just call this here and see you guys in the next one. Like and subscribe. Check out the merch store, link in bio and in the video description. And like I said, see you guys in the next one.